All right, what's up, guys? Tame Dog here, and welcome to the first ever 2 Point Safety podcast. Um, hopefully, this won't be a podcast specifically of me. I would like to get my dad and my cousin, and like interchange them. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. Like have my dad on or have my cousin on. Basically, that's where the name came from. 2 Point, uh, 2 Point Safety podcast. The 2 Point, two people. Ha ha ha! Funny joke. It's not really funny, but um, I came up with it at midnight because I'm now recording this at 1:09, Saturday, July 13th. Also shows you how bad I am at uploading stuff because this will probably be like 5 days later. Um, but we're just gonna go over some current um football stuff since this is a football podcast. Um, I wrote down a bunch of stuff and I don't know where to start. Um, Probably just start with I forgot what the trophy thing is, but there's a bunch of trophies handed out, and one of them was for the best like athlete and then like best football player was to Patrick Mahomes, and he wasn't able to accept the trophy, but Andy Reid was able to. Andy Reid got up there and made a whole big speech about it, about like how he's grown so much as a football player. He's got to watch him grow up as a father as well, and it was very wholesome. I didn't watch all of it, but it was very wholesome. Um, I don't remember exactly where they said Mahomes was, but yeah, Andy Reid the uh took the trophy for like accepted the trophy for him. Next on my list here was Xavier Worthy is back at practice because he had a hamstring tweak, or like he sprained it or something hamstring, I'm pretty sure. Um I don't know how long ago actually. Couple months, few months, I don't know, something like that. And he was out of practice. But he's back now and it looks like everything is fine. There was a clip of him floating around on social media basically about how like about his training, and he looks fine to me at least. Um, and the next one is the really juicy one. This is going to be a very short podcast, because I don't have somebody else to talk to. But basically, next one is, can the Chiefs win the three-peat? Can they do it? Um, I'm going to be biased and I'm going to say yes, but being unbiased, also yes, for the simple fact that we've only gotten better, and we already won a Super Bowl. It wasn't like, oh, we were so close and upgraded, and now we're gonna make the actual push. We won and then got better, which should scare the entire league. Um, we did lose the Jerry Sneed, which hurts a lot because people do underestimate how good of a player he actually was for us. If it wasn't for him, we weren't winning against Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry. Nobody believes me on that one, but I'm gonna say it. We weren't winning if we didn't have the Jerry Sneed, because the one time he switched off to Jalen Waddle and Trent McDuffie was on Hill. That was the one time he had a touchdown, and I'm not even joking. Go look that up. I'm not joking. So I do think the defense will struggle actually a lot this year. People think the defense is going to be the best in league. I will have to wait and see on that one before I'm convinced. I will eat my words right here on this podcast because this is going to be like a weekly thing. I, well, during the season it'll be weekly, but I will eat my words if we really do have a good defense this year. I don't think we will. Um, because we also lost Willie Gay to the Saints. I think we lost. I'm pretty sure we lost Willie Gay to the Saints. I don't know where he went. If it wasn't to the Saints, I don't remember where. But we lost him. And Uh, Leo Chanel could step up into that. That's yet to be seen. I know he did get that contract extension, so I know the team trusts him, but it's more of like I have to see it to believe it. He did step up when Nick Bolton was hurt. I'll give him that, but he has to do it all season long. I know Nick Bolton was hurt for a lot of the season, but it wasn't the whole season. Um, so I mean the defense is a very big question mark. The defense has always been one of our like weak points, so to speak. It has always been, the Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill, and we're gonna score 400,000 points on you every single game and try to outscore you instead of stopping your offense. And then last year, the script was completely switched, and we have to make sure we outscore you by 3 points and have our defense do the rest. Harrison Butker did pretty much all of our scoring last year. I know not really, but I mean, our offense was so inconsistent that he was the only bright spot besides like Pacheco. And I know a lot of people like Rice. I think Rice is a bit overrated, and I'll get to that. But this defense has always kind of been ass, and then out of nowhere, it was really good, and I don't know why. I'm so confused on it had to be because Snead stepped up on his contract year, which I know is a factor in why people don't think he's that big of a deal. But I mean, if we gave him the franchise tag, that kind of been like another contract year, so he would have played the same that he did last year. Um, we'll see how the young guys step up. We'll see how Trent McDuffie does. Maybe somebody, yeah, like the third string guy. I don't know his name. Thompson, I think. Bijan Thompson, the one that like recently collapsed. Um, maybe it was him, but if he like kind of learned under Snead and or whoever the third person is, wherever it is, learned and sat and like watched and you know learned from Snead pretty much, and can use that in to next season, basically replace Snead without replacing Snead. Um, Pretty much that will help out a lot, but that is such a weird spot because like also Justin Reed supposedly retired but is still here. So I don't know what's going on with that. Um Chris Jones did get his big massive contract, which a lot of people like. I don't like how much he got because we could have used that to get to like keep Snead, and to be fair, he's really old. Like he's getting there. He's like I think he was drafted in the same year as Kelsey, so like yeah, he's getting there. Or not? Was it? No, it wasn't Kelsey. It was Hill, wasn't it? Anyway, just remember for those people who are making angry comments, remember this is my opinion, not facts. Just want to put that out there. This is what I think. This does not mean it's completely factual or anything. I'm not claiming it's factual. This is just my opinion. So anyway, moving on to the offense, and this is the part that has improved the most, which in this day and age, you really do need a good offense, but also we've seen what the Chiefs can do with a really good offense. So, I mean, like we've lost and won with a good offense. We lost to the Bengals and to the Buccaneers with a really good offense. We had Hill, we had Kelsey, Mahomes. We didn't have uh Damian Williams for that one Bengals game, but we did for the Buccaneers game. You know, we pretty sure we had Sammy Watkins for that Buccaneers game too. So like we've had really good offenses and still lost. Um, so it is a lot of the defense as well because I think in that Buccaneers game I could fact check it, but I don't feel like it. We lost like 40 some points to 3 or something or like 6. Um, so that is kind of a bummer. That we've still had good offenses and can still lose. So this hype train of just that the offense is good means we're going to win it all. Because if we can't stop the other team, we're not stopping the other team. You know what I mean? So I do like the additions we made on offense before this gets construed the wrong way. I am happy with everything Brett Beach has done. I'm happy with, like the Andy Reid system. I believe in the Andy Reid system. Um, we got Hollywood Brown, number one receiver. We got Xavier Worthy in the draft, who could still be a bust, but I do think he will be all right, at least in his rookie year, because Andy Reid's system is so hard to learn. But um, every fast guy that has been successful, they're not like specifically to Reid, but a lot of the well-known names were under Andy Reid. Tyreek Hill was under Andy Reid. He was drafted to Reid. Um, it's not like he inherited him and then he started to get good. He was drafted straight from, you know, whatever college to the Chiefs with Andy Reid here. And then before that, with the Eagles, he had Sean Jackson, who was one of like their most famous receivers, I guess. I don't know if I'd say it like that. Um, the most, I don't know how to say it. He was just really good. Um, he wasn't like the most productive or like the most famous under Andy Reid, but he was a speed guy who had like some great success. I'm pretty sure he was like a multiple time Pro Bowler. I think he was in that Super Bowl that he lost. I don't know. I wasn't really watching at this time. I started watching in like 2009, which is not good for a Chiefs fan. That's in the past. So there is that part about how we have Xavier Worthy, who's a rookie coming into the Andy Reid system. Andy Reid knows how to use fast guys, but also Andy Reid's system is so hard to learn. Back to Rice, even though I don't like that situation, he didn't really start progressing into his own until like halfway through the season. I know he made catches here and there, but he wasn't like that guy until mid-season. Um, so his like his playbook and the way he calls the plays and the way he goes about like training. They say his training is one of the hardest in the league. So there's a lot that he's probably trying to take in. So they're probably not going to feed him to the wolves immediately. That's probably why Mahomes sat under Smith as well, because as the quarterback, you have to learn everything, not just how many steps back, what's your first read, your second read, your third read. You know, you don't do all that. You have to learn the whole play. Like you have to learn where Hill's going to be on the slant in the middle. You have to figure out when you should try and hit him, and then if he's not open by then, you go to your second read, and Kelsey is still covered by this spot in the field. You know, so that's probably why Mahomes sat, and that's probably why Xavier Worthy will struggle if he does, is because there's just so much for the Andy Reid system to take in. Um, so I mean, he will be in the rotation, but I do think he'll be second if Rice is suspended. If Rice is not suspended, it will be uh, Hollywood Brown and then Rice, and then probably Xavier Worthy. Um, and then beyond those three guys, you have I think Watson is still here, Kadarius Toney's here, Sky Moore is still here. I think that's it. I think Ross might still be here. You got Nikio Remigio, or however you say his name, because God, that name is hard to pronounce. You got him. Um, but past, um, going past Xavier Worthy, you got the Rice situation where he can or cannot be suspended. So for those of you who don't know what is happening, pretty much is that the investigation is still ongoing, and the league is going to wait for the legal system to play out and then see how long his suspension should be. And here's the thing: if this keeps going, and the season like starts, and there is still a month or two left in his court or his legal case. They will not suspend him until the year after. So if this wraps up all tomorrow somehow, it's not going to happen. But let's just say it all wraps up tomorrow. The NFL starts, the next day, and then like a month later, they find him. They find him deemed worthy of suspension, which they will. But they deem him worthy of a suspension, then that will happen this year. But if it drags on into the season and there still has been no suspension yet because the case is ongoing, the next season um, will be the suspension year. Um, but going past that, if he is suspended, it will probably be Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Kadarius Toney, and then Sky Moore. Those two will fight for like the third spot. Excuse me, but um, because I really don't think there's anybody else who could take those spaces. I do like Kadarius Toney. I think he could be a good receiver. I know he has a bunch of problems though, which I am fully aware of. But I don't know anybody else who could really take the third besides Sky Moore. That's why I said both of them. You do have Watson. You do have uh, God, what was his name? Ross. You do have all these guys that you could use, but we'll see how that part goes. But moving on, you got at least the main three receivers. You're gonna have Kelsey, who I've actually heard will be way worse because he has Taylor Swift. Don't see the correlation there. He had Taylor Swift last year, but you got Kelsey, you got Pacheco, you got Mahomes, and then you got the good O line. So the offense is probably the scariest in the league. I'm gonna just come right out and say it. Uh, I'm sorry, but you know, hold on, I'm gonna Google something, get it ready. Um, so I that will be the best in the league if I had to say. Um, but now we're gonna go into why each team will or will not make the playoffs, in my humble opinion. Remember, it's just an opinion. We're gonna start. We're gonna go by divisions, and that's why I was pulling up because I always forget what division has what teams. AFC East. This is probably the one that has the most fighting for the first, besides the Patriots. But so you got the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and the Jets. I think the Jets will be at the bottom. I know they're rebuilding, and that's why they're going to be at the bottom is because they're rebuilding. I'm not going to say Drake May is going to be a bust, but I'm not denying he could be like CJ Stroud and take his team there. I just don't. When I think of the Patriots, I can't really name one team besides the Gonzalez corner. I forgot his first name. That's the only guy I can think of. So they're fully rebuilding. They also got rid of Bill Belichick. Nobody knows how good the new head coach is going to be. Jordan Mayo or something like that. Anyway, they're rebuilding. They're going to go at the bottom. I think the Jets will be in third place because Aaron Rodgers is old and brittle, and I think he's washed up. Nobody else is in that camp. Everybody thinks he's going to be the savior of the Jets. It's the Jets. The Jets are going to jet. I mean, I'm sorry. They're the Jets are going to be the Jets. I mean, he tore his Achilles in 3 plays. He didn't even do a full drive and then got hurt. So I don't think the Jets are going anywhere. Aaron Rodgers is not because another thing people aren't remembering about or factoring in with Aaron Rodgers, he's in the AFC now. The AFC is loaded with quarterbacks. Mahomes, Joe Burrow, I hate him, but Josh Allen. You got fucking Lamar Jackson. You got all these teams. He's not. I'm sorry. He's just not gonna make it. I'm sorry. He's in all the good quarterbacks are in the AFC besides Jalen Hurts and jerk off golf. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. Um, but you got, all the really good quarterbacks are in the AFC. So I think the Jets will go third in that division. I have Buffalo going second and Miami going first. But I do think Miami will be a first round exit because Tua likes to choke it all away in the playoffs. He does not, when it comes to Tua, I think he's a good West Coast quarterback, but he doesn't play West Coast. He wants to be like Mahomes and Allen and Burrow and these big arm guys. It's like Hill is all the way down in the end zone and I'm standing on our own 20. I'm gonna chuck it as far as I can. He's just not that guy. He does not have that skill set. If he played to his strengths, they dropped 70 points on Denver. Granted, it was Denver, but or not 20 points, 60 points rather. Um, so I mean, they could do it. That team has the power. It's Tua. Tua likes to, be the strong arm guy, not the West Coast guy. West Coast has worked in the past. So many good quarterbacks were known as like a West Coast guy. They weren't Super Bowl winners, but it's like a good step forward to try and just play West Coast because I think they could. Last year was the prime year to knock off the Chiefs. We all knew that, but the big hitters were gone. Besides, you know, uh, well, the only big hitter was gone was the Bengals. But that could have been a good year to do it. The writing was on the wall. Tyreek's coming back to Arrowhead to knock them in the teeth. They should have never traded him, and he only got one touchdown, and they lost the game because Tua wanted to bomb it to Hill almost every play, and it only worked on that one play. And the one play it did work, Hill had to stop and wait to catch the ball. It's Hill. He's supposed to run as far as he can and catch the ball in stride for a touchdown, or at least like a big gain like that. That's his name of the game. But if you ask any fast receiver, ask your local, you know, fast guy that runs down the street barefoot, ask him if he would rather get overthrown or underthrown. None of them will say underthrown because if it's overthrown, you can push yourself so much to try and get it. You can lay out, jump for it, dive for it, sprint until you break your ankles. Like there's so much more you could try to do if it's overthrown, but if it's underthrown, you just gotta hope to God you don't get fucking ran over trying to go back for the ball. So Tua is a average quarterback, but he doesn't play to his strengths. He plays to what his coach wants him to do. And I'm not one of those guys that's hating on his coach. I think he's kind of an idiot because he doesn't help Tua. But I mean, it's a team thing. Hill doesn't go up and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna start running these shorter routes. Don't like it, you can kiss my ass." We got to get Tua to play his strengths. Like that's just a weird team. A couple years ago, they had a backup quarterback that almost beat the Bills because the team around him is so good. It's like the San Fran um, system. Like it's going to be good, but the quarterback makes it either better or worse. Um, so I do think they'll be a first round exit unless Tua has like some big leap forward. But moving on to the Bills. This is a hot one. Um, and I'm not saying they're going to be bad because they got rid of Stephon Diggs. They have lost a lot of people on defense to pay Von Miller. Um, their defense lost like five people, I think. Um, which is very, very hard to like replace. Um, and I'm not gonna joke, the Stephon Diggs trade hurts. People are saying, "Oh well, he wasn't even contributing." People forget that Josh Allen was labeled as a complete bust his first year, and then his second year was somehow the best like jump ever because he had a star receiver named Stephon Diggs. People forget that before Diggs, he was like the worst quarterback in the league to being mid-range his second year. Um, it is really hard to fail if if your receiver helps you out a ton. I really think Josh Allen is completely overrated. He's always leading the league in touchdowns and in interceptions, which you shouldn't be leading the league in. If you're being considered a top quarterback. Uh, so yeah, they'll probably win games. And they'll probably come in second. I think Miami will take that. Okay, moving on to the AFC North with the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and the Steelers. Okay, so this one is hard to say. Um, I think the Browns will be in last place. Now that team is stacked, stacked. But Deshaun Watson is a failure. So I don't think. I mean, he has good games. He has good moments. But I mean, Joe Flacco almost led this team to the playoffs, and they got rid of him. So if Deshaun gets hurt again, which he might, that's the only reason I'm saying they'll be at the bottom, just solely off what happened last year. Um, they're I don't think they're going to go anywhere. And then I have the Steelers in third for the simple fact that if um, Russell Wilson, Mr. Broncos country, let's ride, starts to suck balls, then they have Justin Fields that they can throw on, who I do think would be a good quarterback because people forget that with the Bears, they didn't really put that much around him until he left. That doesn't make sense, but anyway, Steelers will be third, in my opinion. And between the Bengals and the Ravens, it is so hard to say because of Joe Burrow's injury. It was an injury in his hand. What do quarterbacks use to throw a ball? Their hand. So I'm not sure how good he'll be this year. If he's back to his normal self, then the Bengals are winning the division. But if he is not what he used to be, then the Ravens will win the division because both of these teams are really good. You know what? I'm gonna say Ravens go in second, Bengals in first, for the simple fact that the Ravens have lost a lot of pieces on defense. I forgot they lost like Patrick Queen and a couple other pieces. Um, so I do not think that the Ravens will make it in first. They probably will make the playoffs, but they won't be in first place. Um, I leave that to the Bengals. They'll probably be in first. Um, so the AFC South, you got the Texans, Colts, Jaguars, and Titans. Um, this is a hard one to say. Houston will be first. Uh, I'm a full believer in the CJ Stroud hype. Uh, I do think he will be a pretty good quarterback this year. He might even win MVP. Hell, he should have won it last year. He was the only quarterback that was worth a damn besides, like Lamar Jackson. But CJ Stroud and the Texans will win first. Um, oh man, this one's hard to say. Um, if Anthony Richardson is healthy, they will go into second. So I'm gonna put the Colts in second. Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. You know what? I'm gonna put them in third. Um, and then I'm gonna put the Titans in last. Um, just because Will Levis is so unproven, and now they have film on him, so he could get worse. I'm not saying he's bad. It's just so hard to tell because he only played like I think it was half the season or something, and he didn't do like terrible. I didn't want to gouge my eyes out, but I wasn't rooting for him either. He was kind of just there. Um, and then the AFC West, this is a Chiefs channel. How dare I not put the Chiefs in first? Then I put the Raiders in second, Denver in third. No, Chargers in third, Denver fourth, just for the simple fact that they have Zach Wilson and Bo Nix. No one knows how they will be. Zach Wilson couldn't just needed a change of scenery. It happens with a lot of quarterbacks. Go to a new city and new scenery, you ball the fuck out. Bo Nix could be the starter, and he's a rookie. Everyone knows how bad it is to put in a rookie. Um, besides C.J. Stroud. But uh, they're going last. Chiefs are first. I'm only going to put the Raiders in second for the simple fact that they have Gardner Minshew. And people forget how good Gardner Minshew can be with a trash roster, and that roster is not that bad. That pains my soul because I'm a Chiefs fan. But the Raiders, like, roster is not that bad. He's thrown to Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams was like the best receiver in the entire league at one point. Like a couple years ago, before he left the Packers, he was still like a number one receiver, and he hasn't gotten worse just because he's had bad quarterbacks. The bad quarterbacks make you look bad. So and we all forget Gardner Minshew was like a legend in Jacksonville for like half a season. He put on a show. I think he will have a resurgence. And the only reason I don't want to put the Chargers in second, and they've always been second, is Justin Herbert is phenomenal. He's a very good quarterback. Uh, his team is kind of dog shit. Really kind of dog shit. I'm sorry. The new coach will help. Um, but there's not a lot of receivers. I can't even name a receiver, and they're a division rival. They got rid of two of them. Granted, both of those would like to rather sit on the couch drinking a beer, watching their game on IR. But I mean, I don't know who their receivers are. I know they got like the Baltimore running back crew, so they might just run over the entire league. I don't know. But I'm sticking with the Chiefs first, Vegas second, Chargers third, Denver in fourth. Um, I The only way I could see this backfiring is if the Chargers have like some phenomenal, uh, you know, wide receiver that comes out of nowhere. Bo Nix is the greatest rookie quarterback ever, and Gardner Minshew would rather sit on the sideline and not throw the ball. I mean, it could all change in the blink of an eye, but I do think the Chiefs will be up on top. The NFC East, Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Commanders. Um, Eagles are going to be number one. Dallas, I want to say will be second, but they're another team that's like, how are they going to do? Because they've only gotten worse and they were kind of overrated to start. I'm not like on the Dallas Cowboys hater train or anything. It's just they would make it to the playoffs and then that was it. They're perfectly content with being just a playoff team. Every other team that's made it to the playoffs is like, okay, we hit free agency hard, we hit the draft hard, we upgrade every position we can think of. They didn't do shit. At least I didn't watch the draft besides the first round, and so I don't know what they did in the draft, but they didn't do anything in free agency. So it'll probably be Eagles. I'm gonna say Cowboys, um, Commanders, and then New York. Um, Daniel Jones is a joke. I am like an underdog story, like lover type kind of guy. Like I'd love to see the underdog rise up and take the league by storm, but Daniel Jones hasn't for like 5 years now. Um, I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be like the Eli Manning replacement, and he hasn't even come close to what Eli Manning was. Even when Eli Manning was playing like dog shit, he's even better than Daniel Jones. Um, I would love for him somehow get even, like be better and be like the best quarterback in the league, but it ain't gonna happen. So, and then they lost Saquon. You can't replace Saquon. I know he would spend a lot of time on IR, but when he was out there, he was like one of the best running backs to watch, and the only bright spot on the Giants. Um, so I mean, and then the Commanders, they're not ready to make a push yet. Um, Jaden Daniels, I think, was the quarterback they drafted. Um, Not saying he'll be good or bad. I hate predicting quarterbacks because it can go either way. Um, I thought Bryce Young and CJ Stroud were both going to be bad, and it was only Bryce Young. So, um, I'm not really going to be making predictions on the quarterbacks, but um, no matter what, he is a rookie, and whether he plays good or bad, they're probably not going to overtake the Eagles. So there's that. And then the NFC North, you got the Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings. So the Lions will be first, and I want to say the Lions will be first, the Packers will be second, um, Vikings will be fourth. Nah, Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. That's how it's gonna go. Lions first, Packers second, Vikings third, Chicago Bears fourth. I'm just not a believer in Caleb Williams. I'm sorry. Every year it's the next coming of Patrick Mahomes, the next coming of Tom Brady, and they never are. Supposedly Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be the best prospect to ever come out of college, and he's not. People forget that like the great besides Peyton Manning, the great quarterbacks were not great coming out of college. Tom Brady was picked in the 6th round. Like it doesn't it's not how good they are in college. That's the thing with quarterbacks. And they're hyping him up as like the Chiefs killer and the new face of the NFL. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm putting Minnesota in third for the simple fact they have Justin Jefferson. I could be the quarterback and still make that team somewhat competitive. They have Justin Jefferson, and then they have uh, who the hell? Uh, I forgot who they drafted. They drafted a rookie, but so I mean, a rookie quarterback throwing to a veteran receiver. Um, well, Jada's not a veteran yet, but he plays like one. Um, that'll be a good duo, but he is a rookie quarterback, so he might have time adjusting. Um, the Packers have Jordan Love, and they're a good team. They made the playoffs, but the Lions, I'm pretty sure they made the AFC Championship or they're the divisional. I forgot. But they are a really good team, and they're probably going to stay good. They got a really young team. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is a different breed of receivers. So there's that. Um, that's it for the NFC North. The NFC South has the Falcons, Cardinals, Saints, Buccaneers. Buccaneers are going to go first. Kirk Cousins is not going to go first, like a lot of people are expecting me to say. Um, I really do like Baker Mayfield. Not a lot of people do. I like Baker Mayfield. They're gonna go first. Um, and then shock. This is gonna sound so weird just because of what happened, but I think Buccaneers will go first. The Saints will go second. Falcons will go third, and then New Orleans will go fourth. Panthers going second is such a wild statement, but hear me out. Bryce Young has like a team around him now, and he's had a year to learn and everything. Everybody's calling me crazy, but they're my dark horse to kind of go into the playoffs. Not so much like Super Bowl or anything. I have a feeling they could win a bunch of games this year. Kirk Cousins is overrated and not good. So I'm not buying into that stupid hype. Then you got the Cardinals, the Rams, 49ers, Seahawks. Rams are going or the 49ers are going to win. Um, no doubt about it. The 49ers, they've been the best team in that division for a minute, and it's going to stay that way. 49ers are going to be first, and then the Cardinals are going to be second. Seahawks are going to be fourth, and then the Rams are going to be third. 49ers are like the best team in football in the NFC, honestly. Let's just be frank. You can put your local cashier at quarterback, and he's probably going to take that team to a Super Bowl. Uh, so they're going to go number one. Um, and then the Cardinals going second is for the simple fact that Kyler Murray has a really good weapon. I know he had DeAndre Hopkins, but eh, I mean, yeah, he was good, but Marvin Harrison Jr. should be actually better, which is kind of frightening. Um, and the Rams going third. Um, they're kind of in limbo after winning that Super Bowl. They got that really stud Puka Nakua. They got him out of nowhere. Um, so they may be better than last year, but not keeps better. And then Seattle Seahawks, they lost Pete Carroll. That is a huge blow. Um, I can't stress how important it is to have a good head coach. And they now do not. So that one hurts a lot. Um, and the main segment is like the point of this segment was like to see like basically who's my Super Bowl predictions. Um, I have a couple predictions, and a few of them are wild, but I'm gonna go with them. The first one is gonna be the Chiefs. And this one would kind of pain my soul, but Philadelphia Eagles and Chiefs again. Then the Chiefs versus I mean, I don't it ain't gonna happen, but it would be funny. The Panthers, it would be really funny just because Bryce Young gets shitted on so much. And I was one of them. I found it funny that this guy is supposed to be like the next coming of Patrick Mahomes and he wasn't. But that'd be funny. One that doesn't involve the Chiefs. I could see like a Texans versus Lions. That would be so funny. Oh my God, two of like the worst franchises ever to make a Super Bowl. Oh my God, I would laugh my ass off. Um, excuse me. But I mean, there's a couple of teams that I would like to see make the Super Bowl. I'd like to see the Cardinals. I'd like to see Tampa Bay make it again. Just because I uh really like Baker Mayfield. The Panthers would just be hilarious. Um, Also, like the Giants making it would be absolutely fucking hilarious. But basically, I do think it's going to be like the Chiefs and, like the Eagles or 49ers again, boring ass stuff. Like I said, I would like to see the Chiefs go against like Tampa Bay, Cardinals, hell, New Orleans Saints somehow blast through everybody. The Cowboys somehow make it there. Um, but I do think the Chiefs are going for the three-peat, and I do think they will make it because um, that's how this video started off. They have gotten so much better that oh, it's getting me hyped for football. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna close it off here. Like I said, this isn't. I mean, it's almost an hour. It's pretty long, but like as podcasts go, this is not very long. But hopefully, I will have my cousin or my dad on here for the next, like the next week's, like the next week episode. Um, I want to post this every Friday, but I've messed up. So, I'll probably do it next week like I'll upload it on Fridays. But that's all for this. Um, Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you want me to keep going. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Do all those nice things. Um, tell me you hate me and it'll give me an ego boost. But anyway, Tame Dog out.